Hey folks, welcome to Rambam. We're continuing with the laws of Shabbos. Very intricate. Chapter 18. So a person who transfers an article from a private domain into a public domain or from a public domain to a private domain is not liable unless he transfers an amount that is beneficial to accomplish a purpose, right? Remember that, in the laws of Shabbos, the malacha, the work that you're not allowed to do on Shabbos, um, is work that is productive, right? So we spoke about like if you destroy something, right? So there's nothing productive in it, so you're not liable. It's forbidden, but it's you wouldn't be liable because it needs to be something productive, right? Unless you were angry at your neighbor and you did something and you yourself, it was productive for you. It was healing for you, which is a chiddush, a novelty to, you would be liable, right? Calmed you down. Um, so same thing as over here. The amount of what you have to bring in the public domain from the private or from the public to the private, right, which makes you liable. There has to be a beneficial amount, for some functional purpose. Otherwise, it's not biblical caring. Is it rabbinic? Yes, it'll be rabbinic, but it's not biblical. Okay. The following are the minimum amounts for which one is liable for transferring. Human food, the size of a dried fig. Right. 1/3 of a size of an egg. In other words, eating less than that would not be significant. Therefore, you wouldn't be liable. That's right. The quantity, that's the size of a dried fig. Doesn't mean a dried fig, obviously. The quantity may include a combination of different types of foods, provided the amount of food itself is the size of a dried fig. The shells and the seeds and the stems and the chaff and the bran are not included in the measure because that would not be something that would be feeding. It wouldn't, you're not getting any food from that. The minimum measure with one is liable transferring wine is 1/4 of a revius. So a revius is about 3 ounces, so this is 1/4 of that. If it has congealed, the kazayas. For milk of a kosher animal, a gulp. For non-kosher milk, enough to apply to one eye. I guess that was some kind of ointment for an eye, For a woman's milk and an egg white, enough to put in an ointment. Okay. For oil, enough to anoint the small toe of a newborn infant, right? And it has some healing power, right? Dew, enough to serve as a basis of an eye ointment. Okay, that sounds a little interesting. Um, an eye ointment enough to be mixed with water and be applied to the eye. Water enough for washing the surface of mortar. Honey enough to apply to a wound. That's interesting. I guess that's a smaller amount than. Well, no, honey would for food.
Oh, for the food itself.
Right. So here because this must be a lesser amount. Right. I guess for some wounds they put honey, they just need a little drop of honey. But a little drop of honey would not be considered sufficient for food, I guess, or to be nourishing in any way.
But when it says water, you can put washing the surface of water. What size is that?
Good question. Seems like there's difference of opinions in the Talmud about that. Not so clear. Blood, all other liquids, and all sewage water are revius, which means 3 ounces.
Oh, by the way, in terms of the honey, there's a commentary that says in this commentary, Rambam interprets this as source that come from improper amputations.
Improper
Amputations.
amputations.
Yes, in terms of the wound itself.
Oh, so that's what the honey was used for.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Okay.
the source of the derived from improper
Uh-huh.
amputations.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, number 3, the minimum measure for which one is liable for transferring straw from grain is a cow's mouthful. Straw from beans, a camel's mouthful. If, however, one transfers a bean straw with the express purpose of feeding it to the cow, one is liable for transferring a cow's mouthful. Okay. Eating that involves difficulty is still considered to be eating. Straws from ears of grain, a lamb's mouthful. Grass, a kid's mouthful. Not your child, kid, right? A kid lamb. Leaves of garlic and leaves of onion, when fresh, are considered to be human food. Hence, their measure is the size of a dried fig. When they are dry, the measure is a kid's mouthful. Okay. Should one take out a combination of these substances, their amount should not be combined to hold one liable according to a more stringent measure. They should, however, be combined to hold one liable according to the more lenient measure. What does it imply? So when a person takes out both straw from grain and straw from beans, right? 2 different straws. If the amount he takes is enough to fill the cow's mouth, he is not liable, because that's a lesser amount.
Oh,
Right. If it's enough to fill the camel's mouth, which is more, then he's liable. Why? Because he took that which is for the camel and for the, so you need for the more stringent one to take, right? Same applies regarding all similar dimensions of Shabbos laws. Okay. Folks, you have to excuse me, but unfortunately I have to stop now. All right. Thank you all. God bless you all.